Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm very happy to have you again uh, in this session with a new topic, which is key facts about cloud platform integration. Again, I reiterate, these facts are all completely identified by me, and it is applicable only on your test and sandbox environment. Please do not try it in your production or pre-production environment. And this is just for your information only. You know, consider this as an information and make use of this wherever is required. So with this, let us move forward. I want to set the context for this particular session. Right. Um, the context for this particular session is, certainly we're going to talk about cloud platform integration, no doubt about it. And think about, you are supposed to set up a version, you know -1. Currently we have cloud pack for integration 2021.2.1 that represents a Q2 release, which was released sometime in second quarter. But if you're supposed to set up a -1 version, right? What you're supposed to do, what all the things that you may need to uh, look out for. So that's the reason, the context is about, you are supposed to set up latest version -1. The scenario that we are, that I'm putting in front of you is, as I said, latest version -1. OpenShift has 4.6 or 4.7 because it both supports. And you wanted to provide a platform to your development and test team, and their area of interest, the component required is AppConnect Enterprise and MQ. So with this scenario, how will you move forward? Eventually, if you look at it, good to have is like, you have a Red Hat OpenShift with 4.6 or 7. Logging stack is created, and common and foundational services with all the identity access management, ingress, monitoring, metering, blah blah blah. Then you set up a cloud pack for integration operator, which is the abstract operator, and you set up a platform navigator which would help you to create instances of your EAS, MQ, data power, API connect, blah blah blah. It's good to have, but you are expected to set up this one. So think about it. There are no common services. Right? What if you are missing common services and you don't want to set up the whole bunch of other components? Your focus is just to set up AS and MQ for two different teams, and you don't want platform navigator, you don't want common services. Can I do it? Let's see how to do that. So the moment you start thinking of the scenario that we discussed in the previous slide, there could be a lot of questions that may occur in your mind. Can I install, first of all, -1? Yes, certainly yes. Can I just install ASNMQ, the one that I really required? How can I avoid common services or the foundational services? How can I avoid platform navigator? What is the dependency between the component that I'm supposed to use, which is ACE, and the common services? Is there any dependency? We'll find out. What is the scope that you may choose to install the operator? The choice is cluster or namespace. We'll see what it is. What are the issues that may be surfaced in the absence of common services and platform navigator? Though we are going to ignore these two key services, It doesn't mean that you will have a easy way of achieving things. There will be some difficulties. So how do you circumvent that difficulties and the issues? So this is the question that you may have. In fact, I had this question, so I found a problem, hence I wanted to share it with you. You may have other many more questions, um, but this is the question I came up with. Let's see. The question is, can I install the current version minus one, the one version previous to the current version? Yes, you can, but with the latest version of common services, there are some dependencies. You may ask, can I not choose the version that I'm looking for? No, you will not be given an option to choose the version. So the option provided to you during the installation of common services, either it's a beta or the latest version number. It could be v3 or a v2, right? So you will not be given an option to choose the older version. So we'll go in detail later. Similarly, the same question that we asked earlier, can I just install ACE because I'm interested only in App Connect Enterprise? Can I do that? Yes, you can. Likewise, MQ, yes, you can. Okay. Before we go dig deeper in common services, can we find out the answer for this? I guess you all might be knowing it, but I just wanted to show. I have just a plain Red Hat OpenShift version 4.7. Okay, so now it has refreshed 4.7, and I have created two projects, which is nothing but the namespace, dev and test, and I named it as 2021.1, the earlier version. Current latest version available is 2021.2. So I've just created two namespaces and it does not have anything. If I go to installed operator, nothing. There are no CP4I related. Likewise, in test, nothing. And if you look at it, I don't have that IBM minus common minus services namespace. Nothing is created. It is a plain Red Hat OpenShift. So let me go and answer the first question. Can I install Cloud Pack minus one version? Yes, you can, but I don't want to do that. Let us go from bottom. Can I install just MQ? Let's do that. All you need to do is, I hope you should have added the cloud catalog source, so you can find those. This is the catalog sources that you're supposed to add before you go and search for the required operator. MQ. You will find the MQ operator. Choose the MQ operator and say install. The moment the moment you before you decide to choose the version, look how keenly is it the version that you are looking for. The latest one, 1.6, is for 2021.2. So version 1.4 is the version that is applicable for 2021.1. In such case, you choose this appropriate version. As I said, you need to be, if you are setting it up at different namespaces like dev, test, you choose the namespace as a scope, the installation mode. The moment you do so, the namespace will be chosen, then you can leave it the automatic. Click on the install. So previously we have seen there was no namespaces called IBM Common Services, but in this case If an operator is dependent on common services, automatically the common services operator or cloud back foundation services operator will be installed. Let's take a look at it. Let it finish. Okay, so it will take some time to complete. Meantime, you take a look at it. Now, the IBM Common Services namespace is created. So if you look at it, this was not there before. By default, this namespace is created the moment IBM Cloud Pak Foundational Services being installed, right? If you look at it, this is the okay. Uh, Sorry to switch you back and forth. Okay, so while MQ is getting installed, but if you look at it, MQ is having a dependencies on Cloud Pak for Foundation Services. The moment Cloud Pak Foundation Services is installed, the common services namespace will be created. It is a kind of recursive action. The way you can find out inside in the subscription of MQ, you can find an install plan. The moment you open an install plan, you can find out the dependent components, right? Similarly, for while installing the common services operator, it has its own dependencies. Like it is an operator which creates this namespace and creates the other required operator in this particular namespace, which is the name scope operator, ODLM, Operand Deployment Lifecycle Manager, and the Cloud Pak Foundation Services as well. So this is what happening when you are going for choosing the required operator only. Though you might have chosen MQ, but it has a dependencies on foundation services it has created. Now, in the common services, if you look at it, still the identity access management services, MongoDB, which is used for identity access management, Ingress, management Ingress, Zen UI, foundational code. There are other services, which is missing. Don't get bogged down. As of now, for MQ, those services are not required. If your intention is just to set up an MQ. Let's go back to test. Okay, so you can ignore this because somewhere uh, the specification is not get updated. The way you can check is you can open the queue manager and you should be able to click the create the queue manager. So the moment it comes, I think you are good to go. We'll come back to this. Now the second question that we need to answer is, can I install just ACE only operator? Yes, you can. The way we did it for MQ, we'll do it for ACE. So this time we will choose the dev, just to show you can install that. Coming back to operator hub, choose Web Connect. Choose install. So if you look at it, version 1.5 is for latest. We choose 1.4, which is the version applicable for the earlier version. And again you choose the namespace. This time we are going to choose the dev, just to show you, and say install. Now you take a look at it. In the dev, the moment you created App Connect, it has a dependencies on Cloud Pak Foundation Services, this install, and then it has a dependencies on CouchDB, right? So you don't need to worry about it. It will be automatically taken care by the operator. So now everything is succeeded. Now let us go back to our presentation. So this is what we were trying to answer. This one, can I install? -1? Certainly yes. But before I answer that question, let's finish this common services operator. Can I avoid using common services? Certainly yes. Avoid using. Please make a note. Installation of operator doesn't mean that you have created an instance, right? So yes, you can avoid creating an instance of common services, and then you can go ahead and create MQMAs for your own, workload deployment. This is yes. Can I avoid installing common services operator? Please make a note. Common services operator. The answer is yes or no. In case of AS and MQ, sorry, by mistake I put in case of MQ, you can avoid. You cannot. The answer is okay. I made that correction. So the answer is very simple. If the operator that you are trying to install, be it AS or MQ or other operator, if that installation plan does not have any dependency on common services, you're good to go. It will not install common services at all, right? If it has a dependency, it will install. So you won't be able to control that. So that's an answer. It's yes or no. If your operator does not require common services, it does not install. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Do I have an option to choose the version common services? No. Do you want to see? Let's see that. Okay, so just to answer this question, here I just chose default namespace just to show you IBM uh, Cloud Pak Foundation Services. This is a common service operator. Choose. If you look at it, it says choose the latest version, and it does not give you option. Either you choose the latest and the beta. You can choose the namespace or the approval strategy, but the channel that is provided to you, there is only this at this point of time. I'm not sure whether is there any roadmap for you to for IBM to provide like V2 V1 something like that. As of now, in this particular versions, you have the latest and the beta. Hence, you don't have an option to choose the older one. You should always go with the latest one. And again, about IBM Common Services namespace. When this namespace is created, we have seen the moment IBM Common Services is installed, right, that particular namespace will be created. So MQ had dependencies on common services, App Connect has a dependencies on common services, right? So the moment Cloud Pak Foundational Services operator is created, then automatically the common services namespace will be created. What this namespace contains. Eventually, it should contain IAM, Prometheus, Ingress, Management Ingress, Common, UI, Zen, Platform API, so on and so forth. Currently, it is not there. The question is, whose responsibility is to create an instance of those the services that I have listed here? There are two ways that I have found out is when you create an instance of a platform navigator, automatically that operator creates the operator and its instance of this services. Behind the scenes, it creates this operand request and it does it behind the scenes. But if you choose to do it by yourself, hey, I just wanted to create the common services by myself, then it is your responsibility to create the appropriate operand request. So there are documentation available. You can search for IBM Cloud Pak Foundation Services operand request. You will see the complete details of the list of requests that you're supposed to make, it is a YAML. Operand request is a kind of resource, custom resource, and you need to specify what is the services that you want to create. Maybe I'll show you in the last. When you create platform navigator, automatically it creates that appropriate operand request that we can find. So I hope this is clear. So whose responsibility? When you create platform navigator instance, by automatically behind the scene it is getting created. If you choose to create by yourself, then it is your responsibility to make that operand request custom resources for all the services, which is cumbersome, but I won't say it is difficult. It's cumbersome. Kind of, you need to, you know, you need to struggle a little bit to get it done. So I won't suggest you to choose this route. Instead, I would suggest you to go for this. But as of now, we don't have any requirement for ASMQ, right? Let's move on. Then now we reached a point where we have ASs created and MQs created, right, in two namespaces. And so we have dev and test. Dev contains AS and the test contains MQ. So let's start with this particular thing. What are the issues that you may face in the absence of common services and platform navigator? So the scenario is no instance of common services and instance. When I say common services instance means I have not created any operand request, be platform navigator or by myself, nothing. So it is empty, completely nil. If you look at it, this is there are no common services, there are no platform navigator instances. Okay, and I'm supposed to create a dashboard with the cloud pack for integration licenses, and there is a value called use common services say true. What happens if you do so? Whatever the name that you have provided during the ES board instance creation, you will get an exception waiting for common services to respond. This can take up to 15 minutes. This will never come up back because you have not created an instances of common services. So you will never get a response. It will always be in pending state. That is the trial one. Okay, so this is Cloud Pack for integration license. Looking at the current situation, um, I'm not using Cloud Pack for integration. Can I make use of App Connect Enterprise non-production licenses? Because I'm just using App Connect. I'm not using any of the other features of CP4I. In that case, you need to choose the appropriate licenses, this one, and specify this, and still you specify use common services. The end result would be again the same error. This is the issue that you may face if you choose to go without common services and platform navigator. Can I circumvent this problem? Yes, certainly you can, by having the same licenses that used in trial 2 and the name of the license. Only thing is you need to make use of use common services to false. If you do so, then you will succeed. Okay. Let's see if we can create some resources. So in the dev, I have App Connect Enterprise. Just say ES dashboard. Create a dashboard. For example, then accept the license. Ensure you choose this cloud pack for integration and production, and this is the license code. Read the version to 11.0. Choose the appropriate storage class. Read write many, which was code get. and the advanced configuration use common services to true. If you do so, it should fail. Okay. So it should fail. So we have chosen this and this, and common services is true. Let's see. Okay, so it will be in pending state, and if you look at this message, this is the message that you get, because we wanted to make use of the common services. So for even if you choose App Connect Enterprise non-production and change the license, and with common services true, you'll see the same error. The only way you can get rid of that problem is choosing this use common services to false. Maybe we can try that. So I just edited use common services to false and then changed the license and the license code. I'm saving it. Okay, so we need to choose this version. Let me try that. Giving a shot. Yes. So what we have done is we have updated the license, code, name, and the version also. It will suggest. So it does the validation and it suggests. So if you have a doubt, you can check in the documentation. As per this operator 1.4, the version, the license code, and the description. So you can find out. Let's see what is happening. So now the dashboard, the dashboard, his dashboard is trying to come up because it has to have the storage class. I believe it might be waiting for the PVC. Yes, it is waiting. It will get through. So storage is bounded, and let's get the route. So dashboard W's coming up. It's come. We have a route. Just launching it. So yes, we are good to go. Likewise, you can go and create the server. So with this, we have seen how we can install App Connect Enterprise without the common services and platform navigator, and what are the problems that we may face and how we can circumvent the problem. So I think with this I would like to conclude the demo. One more thing, platform navigator, yes, you can avoid install using platform navigator. Operator also can be avoided, but if at all you want to create a multiple instance of platform navigator, that is possible with condition, meaning you need to install that operator at the namespace level for you to create multiple instances of platform navigator. What happens if you install it at the cluster scope? You can create only one instance of platform navigator. So with this, I would like to conclude the session. So thank you so much for your time, and I wish you good luck and stay safe. Thanks once again.